Welcome, everybody, to episode 25 of the Dead Drop Podcast. I am your host, Jon F. Merz. Thank you all for tuning in, whether you are watching on the YouTube channel or listening wherever you get podcasts. Wow, 25 episodes. Awesome. Digging it. So, let's see. Where should we begin today? Well, hopefully, you weren't like me earlier, suffering from a massive debate hangover due to the absolute shit show that we were forced to endure last night. Needless to say, I drank way too much and woke up with a massive headache. That was cured by about a half an hour of exercise, which felt absolutely terrible at the time. However, now I'm right as rain, so to speak. But my God, that debate last night was just unbelievable. Unbelievable. Anyway, moving on to far better things. What happened since we talked last? Well, there is a lot more, how should I say this, publicity, I guess, coming out about the feature film that I've been cast in. So since other people are starting to share that they are cast in this movie, I figured that maybe I'll do the same. So I'm not going to give away too many details about what my role is or anything like that, but I think it's fair at this point to, tell you the title of the movie, where it's coming out from. It has started shooting. If you are following me on Instagram, then you probably already know what I'm about to tell you. But for those who don't, the name of the movie is Mother/Android. So Mother Android. And it is a science fiction action thriller story of a pregnant woman and her husband who are forced to flee across basically no man's land amid an android uprising against humans. So very, very cool story. It is written and directed by Mattson Tomlin, who has done amazing work on Project Power. He's co-written some DC Batman stuff. I mean, just awesome stuff. And he said he based the story on the story of his parents who actually had to flee Romania back, when he was a kid. So the story is kind of based on that. So the movie stars Chloe Grace Moretz and Algie Smith, who you may know from the New Edition story. And if you haven't checked that movie out, it's really cool. A lot of fun. A lot of old songs from the 80s that will give you a nice flashback. So I'm pretty stoked. As I've detailed before, I have a speaking role in this movie. The scene that I'm in actually has both the stars in it, so hopefully it makes it to the final cut of the movie. Unless they just decide to not even show me, which is always possible. You never know how it's going to go with these things, and this is my first movie, folks, so I literally have no clue what to expect. I did the miniseries, and I've been on professional sets before, but this is the first time I'm doing a feature film, and let alone one as big as this, because it's actually a fairly big budget feature film, and it's going to be coming out from Miramax. So I believe it wraps sometime in November, which would hopefully mean that we might see it as soon as summer 2021, which would be really cool. Because I would just love to grab any little scene that I happen to be in and throw it on the old acting reel. So Mother Android. So keep a lookout for it. Like I said, there's been a bunch of press coming out. Usually what happens with a lot of feature films is anytime somebody becomes attached to a project, they'll get a nice write-up and, Variety or Deadline or any of those sort of trade websites slash periodicals that keep track on Hollywood projects. So Algie Smith was just recently signed to play, I believe, Chloe Grace Moretz's husband in this, or a partner. I don't even know if they're married or not. So there were a couple of other articles coming out, and production. The director's Instagram post showed a nice picture of the slate and filming in the Lynn Woods in Lynn, Massachusetts. So I don't know if my scenes are going to be shot there or not. Still kind of waiting to see all that, but really exciting, really super exciting. I can't wait to get on set. I can't wait to hopefully meet everybody. I don't know how this goes. Also really interested to see who they're gonna can I reveal this? Well, I'm married. Let's just put it that way. So it'd be interesting to see who they cast as my wife. So we will see where that goes. But that's about it on the Mother Android front. I think I told you last week that I was asked to audition for a Christmas movie, which I think would be really cool. I would love to close out 2020, the insane year that it has been, by booking another movie role at the same time. I have no idea if that's going to take or not. I got the script, turned it around, did my audition, within 12 hours, gave them 2 takes. Everybody, my agent and the casting person, seemed really happy with it. The deadline to submit was last Thursday. So when you see this, it's Thursday. So it's been about a week. I don't know if the director has already made up his mind, if he's just sort of taking his time, or what's going on there. Technology. I had to cough really badly right there in the middle, so we just broke away for a quick second so I could go heave a lung out. Anyway, so I don't know if the director is still debating on roles, or if he's already decided and I just didn't get it, or what. But hopefully we'll have some news on that front coming soon. Oh, yes, I did an audition this week. This was I believe this was my first time auditioning for a national commercial spot. And if you watch the evening news, you can probably guess, and you'd be right in doing so, that it was for a big pharmaceutical company. Because pretty much nobody else seems to advertise during the evening news except all of these pills that start out sounding really good and then have, 3 minutes of possible side effects. If your eyebrows fall off, stop using. My favorite is when the drug says, like, let's just call the drug hoopy sauce, right? My favorite is when they say, if you're allergic to hoopy sauce, don't take hoopy sauce. How the hell do you know if you're allergic to hoopy sauce if you don't first take it? Now, I know they have to say that. They probably have to cover their asses and stuff like that because everybody's sue happy these days. But it just always strikes me as funny. It's like, do not take blah, blah, blah if you are allergic to blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay. I mean, I guess. I don't know. So, anyway, the audition for that was on, it was like 85 degrees outside, and I had to put some flannel on and jeans and go outside and rake leaves. So super glamorous, right? Yeah, you guys are all, I get email messages from some of you, which I appreciate, and the questions are always sometimes are around along the lines of, it's really cool. I'm living vicariously through you. It's like, living the dream kind of thing. It's like, there is some glamour to this, like that much. And then otherwise it's like any other job, and sometimes it's a little silly, and sometimes it's, a lot of hard work. But yeah, I mean, I had to stand there and sweat. Fortunately, the video clip I had to send in was really quick. It was only like 15 seconds or so, but I did a couple of takes on that, and that's pretty much it. We'll see where that goes. The pharmaceutical ads, because they are national spots, they are usually SAG-AFTRA union jobs, which means that they pay really, really well. And if you've seen the pharmaceutical ads, you know they're like little mini movies, for crying out loud. I mean, there's one out there right now. The guy's got like, hey, it's me and my buddies tooling around in 3 vintage automobiles. I mean, what did that cost? I know they rent them, but I mean, like location shoots. Oh, and by the way, we're going to have like a jazz band over here playing while you talk about whatever pills you need to pop. I mean, it's insane. So, I mean, given how much they sell these drugs for, it's no wonder they can afford to do this. But for an actor, if you score one of those, it's a pretty nice deal. Not only do you get the money that you get for acting in the commercial, but then because it's a union job, if you're part of the union, I believe you get residuals, based on how many times a commercial airs, based on a whole bunch of other stuff. I have not done one of those yet. I've done a bunch of local commercials. I did the New Hampshire lottery spot, excuse me, a few years ago, and the funny thing is it actually got picked up in Montana of all places. So, anybody from Montana, you may have seen my butt with a giant horseshoe in it, and that was for the Born Lucky lottery sweepstakes or whatever, scratch ticket or whatever it was for New Hampshire originally, and then I guess these games sort of circulate all around the country. So the Montana State Lottery must have said, "Oh, you got a commercial too? We'll take that." So I got paid again for that, which is always nice. Anytime something goes to a different market, you get a nice check. So that's cool. So there's potential there. We'll see where it goes. Yeah. So all right, that's it on the acting front for right now. We're gonna take a quick break, and we'll be right back. All right. So last week I teased you guys about this brand new multimedia project. Yes, that's what it was. I had to remember my own bullshit from time to time. So tomorrow, oh wait, no, see, I'm recording this Wednesday, so you're going to see it Thursday because Thursday is Dead Drop Day. That's when it comes out on the Poundcake YouTube channel. Poundcake is, hosting all these podcasts and stuff like that, and you should totally check them all out. We got 4 podcasts now, which is awesome. But anyway, the project that I have been teasing you about debuts Thursday evening. So if you are listening to this Thursday morning when I pop it out at 7 o'clock, stay tuned because at 7 p.m. the new project drops. And it's only available on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Poundcake Media. All one word. No spaces, no hyphens, nothing. Just youtube.com/Poundcake Media. The name of the project is Night Frights. And as a result of this podcast, you guys know that a lot of times what I'll do is if I'm working on something in the writing part of things, that I'll do some excerpts where I'll read here on the podcast and give you guys sort of an inside look at what I'm working on and stuff like that. We just had to take another break because I had to burp and I didn't think you would really be interested in hearing that. So anyway, we're back now. So Night Frights, what it is, it's me sitting by a fire reading new unpublished short stories, creepy short stories. Something I've been wanting to do for a long time. I actually had a suggestion from somebody a while back who said, you should really think about, reading bedtime stories or something like that, because I'll bet there'd be a fair number of people who would want to see you do that. I don't always agree with these suggestions, just because, it's just me. I write stuff, I act, I produce, but at the end of the day, it's just me. I'm just living my life. But I realize that there may be some truth to that. I don't know. We'll find out because episode 1 of Night Frights drops October 1st at 7 p.m. on YouTube. And what we are going to be seeing is me reading a short story. And the short story is called The Longest Walk. And it has 5 parts. And tomorrow night is the first part. So they are not long videos. You don't have to set up camp and give away your evening. It's about 7.5 minutes. Yeah, each part's about 7.5 minutes. Some will be a little bit longer, some will be a little less, than that. But by and large, that's about the length of it, and that's deliberate. We wanted to, Chris and I wanted to aim for something that was easily digestible, without, like I said, taking up your entire evening, and yet at the same time is a lot of fun. So these stories, I've been writing these for the last, I don't know, 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, something around there. I have 4. 3 are done, and the 4th is halfway done. So we're going to continue this, though. It's not just going to be 4 stories and then that's it. We are going to continue this, and we are launching on Thursday, October 1st, but then new episodes will be out on Tuesdays. Tuesdays on the youtube.com/Poundcake Media channel. So something to look forward to on Tuesdays, and I highly recommend pouring yourself a drink and putting it on the laptop or on the TV. Maybe you have a fire too. Maybe you're going to crawl into bed, pull up the covers real tight while I read you a story. I don't know. It's up to you. You guys can do whatever you want to do. So, yes, we will start with The Longest Walk. That will take us through to the 27th, I believe, of October. And then I'm going to do a special, just one-shot deal that's going to release on Halloween. And then we'll go into the second story, which is The Witch of Vine Brook. And then the third story, The Vengeance of Tanu Tanami. So, and then the 4th story that I'm working on right now is called Stringer. And these are all, let me just put this out there. These are not like literary highbrow horror short stories. They are kind of quick and fun. They're not, if I had to draw a parallel to them in the movie industry, they're not slasher flicks, but they're kind of brain candy, because you need that. I mean, who doesn't like monsters, right? So we're going through a number of monster stories there. I mean, as you can tell, The Witch of Vine Brook, obviously, it's about a witch. So there you go. And The Vengeance of Tanu Tanami, I had to get an Egyptian mummy in there somewhere, so that's what I did. So we're gonna go through all that, and I think once I have a good number of short stories, I'll put another collection out. You can pick it up. It'll be an ebook and print and all that stuff. But for right now, we're going to get through these 4, and then I'll sit down and write some more, and we'll film some more episodes. But yeah, that's going to be the new Tuesday show that is dropping on the Poundcake YouTube channel at youtube.com/Poundcake Media. Are you getting that yet? I mean, I've dropped it like half a dozen times already. You need to go out there. You need to subscribe, interact with the videos, leave us comments, say hello, tell us what you like, tell us what you don't like, tell us what you want us to do. Tell us on Cocktails and Screams, for example. Get out there, give it a listen, hey, you guys should be reviewing this movie and you should be trying this drink with the movie, all that good stuff. We love to hear from you. Some of you are already doing that, and we deeply appreciate it. But we'd love to see more engagement out there on the YouTube channel. We have some big things ahead. YouTube is sort of where we're putting a lot of our energy right now, specifically to develop a lot of these ideas. But this is by no means where we are stopping. We have a lot of stuff in the pipeline, a lot of really exciting stuff that I am not allowed to talk about because Chris will get really upset with me, and Jamie will get very upset with me as well. So I don't want to upset either one of those folks because they're great individuals, and but rest assured, this is just the tip of the iceberg. So. Get in on the ground floor with us. God, I'm like mixed metaphors much. My God, tip the iceberg. Get in on the ground floor. This is horrible. Who is this guy? Some sort of writer, right? Some sort of author. Words are really hard for me sometimes. Yeah. So I'm just mixing it all up tonight because I'm in a goofy mood. But yeah, get in on the ground floor with us. Interact with us, tell us what you like, tell us what you don't like, and we love hearing from you guys. So, because you all are watching this, hopefully, and listening to it, I am going to break away for just a moment, and in that time that I'm away, I'm going to play you an exclusive brief clip from the first episode of Night Frights that is debuting Thursday, October 1st at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So why don't we do that right now, and I will see you over on the other side. Good evening, and welcome to Night Frights. I'm your host, Jon F. Merz. What is it that makes a man do something stupid or foolish? Is it ego? Bravado? Is it a stubborn clinging to the sense of invulnerability he felt as a youth? Or is it ignorance of reality and the dangers that lay therein? For one man, Samuel Collins, he'll have to answer that question in tonight's story, The Longest Walk. Whether he finds an answer or not remains to be seen. Here then is part one of The Longest Walk. It was just after the harvest that old man Mason found his prize hogs slaughtered amid the fallow fields running north on his farm. Mason had been fattening her for years, all to provide a good source of bacon for the upcoming winter, which the old folks in town said was going to be a harsh one. He cared for that pig almost as if she was one of his children, feeding her better than most of his other animals, until the sow could barely move on her own. Jebediah Davis had once remarked that he was going to need a wheelbarrow to cart that beast around in soon enough if he didn't kill her and be done with it. But Mason had simply shaken his head and muttered something about needing time. Well, time had run out, and well before Mason himself could take a knife to the sow's throat and dispatch her. Some other creature had slain the hog and devoured most of it. When the old man found what was left, it took him full on near a day to decide if it was really her. There hadn't been much, truthfully, aside from the deep crimson smears across the leaves and dirt, as if someone had tried to paint with the sow's blood. Okay, so that was a brief, exclusive, world premiere MTV video at midnight, if you can remember that far back, and I barely am able to do that. But yeah, so there's the exclusive premiere for you. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you're going to tune in and check out the full episode. As I said, I'm only going to give you a little taste of it. But yeah, so Night Frights is dropping right today. Well, tomorrow, but today because you're hearing and watching this on Thursday. So that is that's the big news from on that front. And we'll be back in just a minute to talk a little bit more about writing. Just occurred to me that I've had a crap ton of breaks in this episode. I apologize for that. Usually it's three segments, right? We do the acting, the writing, the producing, that kind of thing. Tonight I've had to cough, I've had to burp, I've had to show you an exclusive clip from Night Frights. So apologies, but this is sort of off the cuff anyway. There's not a lot of production value here, so bear with me. So in addition to writing Stringer, which is the fourth story that we're going to be filming episodes of Night Frights, excuse me. I am starting to get back to work on Zombie Rue number 3, which I'm excited about. And also, I need to start working on the third book in the Blood Armageddon series. And that's really cool too. So that's coming out. The whole series is going to be coming out from Fireside Horror as audiobooks. And Joe Hempel, who has narrated other books of mine, started this company. And last week he said, I've got a list of people who want to narrate. I'm going to send you over the folks that I feel are the top contenders for it. And I said, it's awesome. I mean, Joe, he bought the rights to the book. It's his business, but I sincerely appreciate it when, companies want to get you involved and at least get your approval on who they, invariably end up hiring to do the work that's coming. So he sent me over a couple emails. First email had an audition by one gentleman, and Joe said, this is really the guy that I like. I think he nails the, excuse me, I think he nails the pacing, the character, the timing, all of that is just really well done. And then he sent me another email. He said, but, here are some other contenders as well. Give it a listen and let me know what you think. So I popped, before I played the one that he liked, I wanted to hear the other folks. And so I popped some of those on. And it's very interesting. Obviously, because I do, the whole acting thing, the modeling thing, it takes a lot to kind of put yourself out there and, read or act. If you're, audiobook narrators, people have asked me in the past, why don't you narrate your own books? And it's kind of like, well, I don't mind doing it for a short story, but I don't know if narrating a full book is something that I want to do, at least at this point, because I write them. It's probably sounds a little weird, but that's kind of where I'm at right now. It's like I wrote the book. I don't necessarily want to read it. But here I am doing Night Frights, and I wrote the story, and I'm reading the story to you. So who the hell knows where this may end up? I don't know. But anyway, I really just have a ton of respect for people who are not afraid to put themselves out there. Because, you know what? You got one life. You may as well go for what's going to make you happy. So, with that in mind, I listened to a lot of the auditions, and they were, by and large, they were all really well done. There were 2, however, that sounded like voice software was reading it. It was really kind of odd. I don't know what some of these voice software programs sound like, but when I popped it on, it didn't sound like a genuine human voice. It was really odd. Needless to say, I didn't go with, I didn't send Joe over and go, hey, we got to hire these guys. I really like the artificial android voice on there. And there were 1 or 2 that I thought were strong contenders for that. But then I popped on the file that Joe actually recommended and said that he really felt captured the essence of the story. And man, I got to tell you, I was just blown away. This guy, like Joe said, he nailed everything. He nailed the pacing. He nailed the character, the timing. The one little thing that I wish I could just do would just be to bring his voice down, maybe an octave, just a little bit. But that's so minor, it's not even worth complaining about. So I emailed Joe back and I said, yeah, I think absolutely this is the dude. And you can tell that he's a very classically trained actor. So I am super stoked about what he's going to be able to bring to the table in terms of reading this book. So believe me when I tell you that I think the Blood Armageddon audiobooks they're just going to blow you out of the water. I'm so excited about it. I can't even tell you. It's they've got the first two books. This guy he's gonna get to work pretty much, I believe, right away, and then Joe's gonna bring them out. So I don't know what the timeline is for when those would be available, but I have to imagine it will be within 6 months, if not much sooner. I don't know. Depends on how much production value has to go into them. Joe was fooling around with not book cover, audio book cover designs today that basically, are the book cover for the actual book, and then just sort of adapted as audiobooks. So those he shared those around today, and of course, The Last Vampire is one of them. So things are moving ahead, pretty strongly on that front. And like I said, I'm over the moon. I can't wait to hear how good this guy sounds when he brings this out, because I know he's going to do a fantastic job. And Joe's a professional anyway. He's been an audiobook narrator now for years. He's done a really amazing job on other titles that I've written. And I know he's not going to put out, a substandard product. So as soon as I have ordering information for that, pre-orders or however he's going to do it, I will let you know. And please be sure to order many copies. You only need one copy, but I just said many copies. Give it away as gifts, right? I mean, come on. People love audiobooks. Maybe you've got somebody in your family who, drives trucks for a living. Truck drivers love audiobooks, and I don't blame them. If I was doing that for a job, I would love audiobooks. Just be able to listen to that, because there's crap on radio right now. I mean, I have XM Sirius or whatever the hell it's called, and I was so excited about that when I first got it. I was like, oh, this is great. I listen to First Wave, it's all, new wave alternative from the 80s. This is awesome. Until I realized that they keep playing the same damn songs over and over, just like terrestrial radio. There's just more songs that they have to get through before they play them again, which really pisses me off. It's like, do a deep dive on some of these artists. There's so many great freaking tracks that they should be playing, and they don't, for one reason or another. I don't know. I can't figure it out. Anyway, your mileage may vary, but the point is, grab these audiobooks because I really think they're going to be special. And I have a couple of other new releases that will be coming out as the fall ticks on. Chiefly some of the 4 novels that I've written over pandemic spring, let's call it that. So those will be coming as well, and I will have news on that front very soon. So that's going to do it for this episode of Dead Drop. Keep a lookout for articles about Mother Android, the film that I'm in, and if you happen to see any that mention me by name, that'd be I don't think that's going to happen, but if you do, please send them my way, because I would love to see them, and I can't devote all of my time to Googling that stuff because I'm busy doing other stuff. But so lots ahead. Check out Night Frights, Thursday, October 1st, 7 p.m. on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/Poundcake Media for Dead Drop, episode 25. I am Jon F. Merz. You all have a great night and a great weekend. I'll see you next week.